Who was right about the tuck rule all those years? Who's right now about fumbling through the end zone?
You're definitely not.
Being the rule it should be. You know who knows that more than anybody else? Mike Pereira, former head of NFL Refs, now NFL on Fox Rules analyst. How are you, Mike?
You know, I'm really good, but I'm looking through all the proposals that the owners are going to discuss.
Yes.
And I'm looking at, remove the on-field video review from the replay process, make all illegal forward passes loss of down.
Yeah.
All of these things. It's funny, I don't see anything about a fumble forward into the end zone.
Yes,
not a thing.
I see that, Mike.
Preach, Mike.
No. Excuse me.
Not a thing.
Now, Mike, you're now cherry picking which information to give us, and I'm not accusing you of wrongfully saying that this is not up for review. You know the way this works. You've been in the competition committee room. You know how it works. You know that teams understand what would even remotely come close to passing muster or not. You know whether it's ready to be put in front of ownership now or not. You know how this works. And they just don't feel that it's ready. They don't have the proper wording or ruling or even maybe consensus in the room. But I think you and I both know it's coming. We know it's coming, Mike. We know it, right?
I'll grant you, we did say that about the tuck rule. You did say that about the tuck rule. So I will give you that. And there's always something to me that reflects Eisen when you look at all these proposals. Eisen. It's like if you put in front of me a plan about overtime and the toss, and if you put in front of me pick and choose, and you said who would have proposed something like that, I would have said Rich Eisen.
That's right, damn straight.
More than John Harbaugh, to tell you the truth.
Exactly, Mike. And by the way, who also came up to you at the owners' meeting years ago? I believe it was in Tampa, Florida, where they were changing the rules on celebration, and you were right. You were rightfully saying that you had as the head of NFL refs, the number of letters you got from high school and Pop Warner coaches saying you need to fix this in the pros because we're seeing it too much here. They're looking at the pros. But who told you that it was too stringent and that there would be some sort of reversal of this rule on celebrations? Who told you that back then, Mike? Who was the one to tell you that?
That would be you. That would be you.
So I'm just saying I am a seer. I'm an understander of the room. I read the temperature. I take the figurative pulse. Tell me this pylon rule is never going to be changed. Tell me that, Mike Pereira. Tell me that.
Again, the pylon rule.
Yes,
it's a wonderful rule. It's easy. It's easily understandable now. If you're inbounds and go into the end zone, then that goal line extends. If you're not, you got to get the ball over the pylon before you touch out of bounds. It's a beautiful rule.
Right.
It's a beautiful rule. But there are a lot bigger issues in the game than
the fumbling. No, I know that. I get the fumbling through the end zone. I hear that from you. I've heard that from all your successors at the job. That it basically it happens 5-10 times a year. It just happens always in a nationally televised game, and it's gonna happen in a Super Bowl, Mike. And the whole country is gonna say, "What the hell was that?" And then we're really gonna have a mess on our hands. I guarantee you, this will happen if we don't fix this rule. And my rule change would be: you fumble through the end zone, reverse touchback, keep the same down. So if you fumble on third down, it's a loss of down, but back at the 20-yard line. So at least somebody's got a chance to kick a field goal from the 20-yard line on fourth down. If it happens on first down, and too bad, it's first and goal. It's now second and goal from the 20-yard line. What's wrong with that? You keep possession. What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with that. But again, I'm like all my successors or the guys that followed me, the whole ball of wax, the guys before me. When you fumble the ball into your opponent's end zone, to me, it's worse than fumbling the ball forward out of bounds. That's just the way I feel about that. And I hate this thought of, I don't hate the thought because it's you, but I hate the thought of, fumbling forward out of bounds, and now you take the ball that was snapped at the 3 and fumbled at the 2 and put it at the 20. To me, you got to play football. And to me, hold on to the ball. You want to stretch your arm out, stretch your hand to try to get into the end zone and risk losing control of the ball. that's your risk. But to me, I don't think that's part of the major problems that we have in officiating and rules today.
Mike Pereira here on the Rich Eisen Show. What are the major problems in officiating and rules today that you think needs to be fixed?
Well, I think when you look at what's being talked about, the addition of a booth official, however you want to call it, I think that's the biggest possible step to improve officiating on the field. I don't like the way that I'm hearing that it's being presented, which is unlike what Baltimore presented, which is an eighth official who has access to video, who is off the field, and who can contribute in real time to the crew. I like that. Call it the sky judge. It has been tried before in the AAF, the whatever it was, and the XFL. It's doable. It can correct egregious errors. It can be limited to personal fouls, player safety issues, and for like pass interference inside of, let's say, 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. But to me, what they're talking about is giving the replay official more responsibility. To me, opens up a lot of problems, and I think the replay official has enough to do right now. And I think the key to me is an eighth official just rules on things that are outside of replay, not the inside of replay stuff on what's a catch and what's not a catch. Did he step on the line? Did he not? You're talking about, was that a face mask? Was it roughing the passer? Was it a hit on an illegal hit on a receiver? Those types of player safety things, which to me can be done efficiently. I don't believe it will extend the length of games by a whole lot. And again, it has to be limited. Not looking at whether something's a delay, a game foul, whether the play clock ran out, or whether the right guard fault started. Just the big issue plays. And I think if our goal is to get better and our goal is not to have missed calls, then I think that's the answer, but not the replay official trying to decide quickly whether something's a catch or not a catch and correct it and not go to review. And then the poor coaches on the sidelines and their guys upstairs, well, they're going to wait to see, is replay going to change this immediately, or we're going to do we? It's fraught with problems. So I think that's one of the big issues that will be actually decided upon, because I do think something will happen.
So yeah, you're hearing that they're going to try and just add more responsibilities to a replay official as opposed to add someone else. And the verbiage I'm hearing is that this replay official that would have expanded responsibilities as a de facto sky judge would be involved in subjective issues. That's the words that I'm hearing, or that could be utilized as a codification, as an actual rule that's put in there. What do you think that would be? Do you think this has a chance of passing?
Well, I think certainly there's a chance that something is going to pass, and I'm hearing more of the expansion of the replay official. Look, you're not going to go to a sky judge or an eighth official unless you get the total support of the officiating department. If I was still running the department, I would be in the committee meeting saying, this is what I want to do. So I look at this whole thing of being subjective with the replay official. Look, the replay official doesn't even make any decisions now. All decisions are made in New York. So if he's going to be he's got to make a subjective decision. Are we going to wait for New York to make that subjective decision? It's like, wait a minute, where's the process here? Where's the process? And so, I look at this and saying, you're going to expand the duties of the replay official, who in many cases hasn't even worked a game of football or hasn't certainly worked in the NFL. Are we going to give them this responsibility, or does poor Al Riveron get more responsibility in New York? There's no way that in New York they're going to see every roughing the passer hit, for example, and make a decision on whether it's a correct call, or one that should have been called, or one that's incorrect. I mean, there's too many layers there, and I just think that the issue of an eighth official, and while I like John Harbaugh's and Baltimore's, proposal, I don't feel like they went far enough. I mean, there has to be, you can't just say, this is what we ought to do. How can we do it? And to me, how could we get an eighth official? And who is this eighth official? And if it's me, I say, hey, we're going to bring in 18 new officials, and each crew is going to be an 8-member crew, and we're going to rotate. We're going to rotate. Let's not tunnel vision everybody that this is your position. This is the only one you can work. Take the 3 deep officials and move them every 4th game into this into the booth. I think it would improve officiating. It would get more officials into the program and get them started. So we always seem, and I was the same, we try to make things better by putting Band-Aids on things and on problems or on sores or on scrapes, when the big way to really make a big difference to me, and what we refuse to talk about with any great length, is full-time officials. Do referees need to be full-time, which I certainly believe they do. The 17 referees, 100% full-time, working every day of the football season under one roof during the week. And then, again, this 8th official using real time. It happens now. You see a block in the back called, and then all of a sudden the officials get together and they pick up the flag. You see a face mask called. The officials get together and they pick up the flag because another official has another view. Here's the 8th official with another view that he gets the luxury of seeing the live shot and run it back and forth and a quick replay. And if they can get it within a 15-second time frame, within 15 seconds left on the play clock, if they can get it done before that, then make the change. It'll look funny, but you know what? Replay looked funny when we brought it in, but everybody got used to it. Well, and it would be the same here.
Mike, Mike Pereira here on the Rich Eisen Show. As you know, I was there for the owners' meeting where it was ruled as permanent, and I remember Charlie Cashley of the Texans organization at the time, and he was on the competition committee. He told the owners, everybody has replay at home. Everybody's got it in high definition. If we don't use it, everyone else is seeing it. So that's why I'm always been an advocate of replay. And so, but you know how this works. Everything needs to be done incrementally because there's so many people that just can't wrap their heads around such a radical change. And then there's also some other aspects of moving things back to where they once were. There's a certain part of NFL membership that just thinks that we're, anything that's changing from the old way of doing it, or the if you will, long time way of doing it is something that they have a problem with. Why am I hearing that overtime rules need to go back to what it was, where it's just like, let's flip the coin and somebody goes, 6 plays, kicks a field goal, and we're done? Why am I hearing that? Where did that come from, Mike?
I don't know, and I don't agree with that at all.
Neither did I.
I mean, I agree with what we got to. There are certain people that think it should go further than that, and that even on a touchdown that the other team should get an opportunity. But I think that was a good, a good change, and I think it's good the way it is. Again, I'd move beyond that and say, where's our issue here when we look at the onside kick situation? Right. To me, you look at that and say, here's some startling numbers. I mean, the success rate on onside kicks from 2010 to 17 was 13.5%. And from 2018 through 2020, it was, 7.8%. And in 2020 alone, it was 4.8%. And then the whole notion of, if you go back and look at this, how about this stat? Between the 2-minute warning and 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, a team that was down 1 to 8 points attempted onside kicks 42.1% of the time. In 2020, 8.3% of the time.
Well, that's a player safety issue, isn't it, Mike? Because of the way that you're allowed to line up for kickoff.
I think it's not. Yeah, it's not just lining up, and of course, it's a player safety issue. I get it, but it's the restriction on being able to advance.
Right.
So you have to be flat-footed, basically, when the ball is kicked, and that's probably the biggest limiting thing to me. And so I think you have to look at that. It's time to look at that.
What's the fix?
Whole 4th and 15 onside kick alternative, I think, is a good one.
And so what if you could wave a wand and make that happen, what would that look like to you, Mike?
Well, it would be very simple. After you score a touchdown, the team would be given the opportunity to say, do you want a kickoff? Do you want an onside? And if you're going to onside, it's a 4th and 15 attempt. So we play football. You snap the ball to 25 and you play, it's 4th and 15. If you get it to the 40 on the play, guess what? You keep the ball and continue playing. If you have fouls on the play,
yes,
we play it just like a 4th and 15. So you don't make it to the 40-yard line, but the defense is offside, then you get another down, and it's 4th and 10 from the 30.
What if there's a hold? What if there's an automatic first down or pass interference?
You get it. If there's an automatic first down, you play on. So you just basically play 4th and 15. Now the danger, I think, is the straight play that is unsuccessful. So you throw the pass, and it's incomplete. Boy, now the other team gets the ball 1st and 10 at the 25. Now that's almost a gimme for another score, where at least in the traditional onside kick thing, if you kick from the 35, the other team is probably going to get the ball to 45. But now they're going to get it, excuse me, at the 25. So that's a big difference. But you're going to have to do something to, I think, make it a better opportunity for the team to come back in the game. Now, 4th and 15 on itself, boy, the success rate's not very good on just a straight play without penalty or anything. It's about 2.5%. But with penalties and everything, it certainly increases. But I think there has to be an alternative, and I think there's been enough research done that I do think it'd be more of an exciting play for people to watch, and again, it brings in the whole notion of the penalty situation, which just makes it play like football.
Mike, you're the man. Let's chat. Let's chat in the next couple of weeks when we know exactly what's been done and what you think the unintended consequences or the proper consequences are. Let's do that again soon. Okay.
Anytime.
Thanks for the call. You're the man. That's Mike Pereira, Chief Rules Analyst on Fox. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.